Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Week 5 MNVL action. Tonight, I am joined by a special guest traversing the MNVL games and making his way to the Tuesday night appearance. Welcome, Gummy. Excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. I've crawled my way out of Thursday. I've time traveled here, used my magic watch. I've made it all the way to Tuesday, and I'm here to cast some League. It's going to be my first time casting League ever. I'm excited. I feel like we got two very high quality teams going at each other tonight. It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more, right? Week 5, we're getting at it. A 3-0-1 team, which is Roseville, and then Hopkins on the other side at a 2-1-1 record. So both of these squads sitting near the top of their standings, right? They have put on some impressive games. I know for a fact we featured Hopkins just a few weeks ago on the broadcast, and I believe that is a match that they split a draw. They won one and lost one. So going to be interesting taking on a tough Roseville team. And Gummy, you and I were just doing a little bit of research, right? Looking at some of the characters, champions that these guys play. And I mean, anything standing out to you right now that you want to talk about off rip?
Right off rip, I gotta say, looking at it, Hopkins are coming in as the underdogs. Roseville looking very strong, very high ranks. Ranks they don't mean everything, but they are a good basis for like where you land skill wise. Roseville just has a huge advantage in ranks. I mean, we're looking at like challenger players. We're looking at very strong players, and Hopkins is sitting closer to silver. So it's going to be a little difficult to climb that hill for Hopkins, but they do have an advantage going into this match against Roseville. Character-wise, looking at characters that Roseville plays, they have a much deeper character pool, Hopkins does, than Roseville, meaning that Roseville can be really hurt by some bans, while Hopkins can afford to maybe give up a few characters and hop on some secondaries that would be stronger than kind of what Roseville's sitting with. So bans are going to be very interesting to see if Hopkins is going to be able to take that advantage and maybe even the playing field that we're going to have in this match.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Something to point out, right, is not so big champion pools on one side for Roseville, whereas Hopkins have a lot of alternative picks that they can kind of fall back and rely on if somebody is to get target banned. We'll have to keep a close eye. Highlight player, I'd say for Roseville has to be Mr. Chair. Masters top laner, really specialist of the Warwick, right? I mean, a very niche pick, okay? Running Barrier Flash Warwick is something that is, I mean, I'd say it's a very solo queue and playing for yourself kind of pick, right? It's not the end of the world. It gets the job done, but at a team play level, it's not the best. But I think that's going to be victim of one of the first bans probably from Hopkins, right? That's the highest ranked player in the server here tonight, and it's definitely just a sign of respect, right? Taking away that comfort pick, because I think it was like 340 games on it or something, just out of this world, and then the next closest thing's like 20. So it just comes down to a matter of the comfortability that Mr. Chair has shown on it, and it's just something that you're gonna have to take out for the side of Hopkins, right? You just don't want to deal with a player on his main pick like that.
Yeah, especially considering when you're going against like a niche character specialist, someone who you really don't have that much experience going up against or don't know as much about. Like maybe you don't even know what what their abilities is.
Right.
That's kind of a big problem. And when you go up against a specialist and that character you just don't really know, to compare it to my home game of Smash, some people just kind of pick bottom tiers and they can find success at some of the highest levels because it's a matchup check. You don't know what you're getting into sometimes, and you could just get burned by something that you just have no preparations for because you just never expected it. So if Hopkins doesn't ban that character, it's gonna be a huge hill to climb. It's just gonna be a problem.
No, I can't agree with you more. I think that's exactly right. It comes down to that comfortability, and it's just something that you don't really want to opt into unless you have to. So we'll kind of see how game one starts out, what we kind of get from pick bans. Through the most part of the season so far, it has been heavily contested picks towards the bottom half of the map. Certain 80 carries, right? The 80 carry pool is not the biggest, right? There's only a few 80 carries that stand up at the top comparatively to the rest. So we might see some contention on that early on. We saw Hopkins play through their mid laner Prometheus a lot, and Prometheus helped out his bot lane quite a ton the last time we featured them on stream. So something to keep an eye on. Hopkins' play style is a lot around that middle to bottom half, whereas Roseville tends to play more to that top side of things. So I think, it's a very interesting matchup we have here. It's counterproductive play styles, and it's going to make for a very interesting series. On that note, I want to give a quick shout out to Wisdom, our primary sponsor of this evening, guys. Wisdom has been with MNVL for as long as MNVL has been around, right? So, without Wisdom, we do not have MNVL. These guys have done so much, provided so much help and support. And I mean, they have one of the sickest gaming setups at the MOA, and that is exactly where we are heading again for our state tournament this season. It was so much fun last time, and I mean, guess what? Going to be better, right? We got a little bit more time added to our stay. I think it's 3 days in total, if I'm not mistaken.
It's going to be a party.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a hoot and a holler, if you hear me. So make sure you stop by the MOA location, pick up some MNVL merch. Man, I'm rocking the Torrent jersey right now. This is only the finest, as I hear the Champion Select music starting up. Gummy, and we are getting this show underway. Starting on the blue side is Roseville, meaning they will have first bands plus first pick. And the Salty Scurvy Sea Dog Gangplank is the first to hit the deck in the bands.
Right.
Lysandra, the follow.
Gangplank is one we did see. I believe it was
Toke, I
Morgan.
think.
It was... Yeah, on Hopkins also had.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. Margulon.
Yeah, Hopkins also had. So a Gangplank. So we're looking at
there it is.
A lot of the Hopkins characters. They're really going to have to start stretching.
That's that Warwick band coming through that we were talking about, man. There's just no way you're going to let a master of Mr. Chair. And then the Echo band was the primary pick for Haywolf Gaming. Apologies, just trying to read my handwriting. Sometimes it can get a little messy. But
if I'm not mistaken, that's a Wukong band coming in from Roseville.
Yep, that's the Wukong band.
That's kind of targeting Nunu, a player who we don't know too much about, because the last time he played League of Legends, according to our statistics, was 2 months ago.
Something to keep in mind then. Yeah, I mean, the Wukong band makes sense. Volibear, the first pick for Roseville. So a little bit different to, the Echo style of play, but it's still an engage kind of ganky style of jungler that you can play. I mean, could be a flex to the top lane too, so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Whereas Hopkins insta-locks their bot lane of Jhin Alistair. So a very kill-threatening lane in terms of the support pick and engage in your face kind of champion there. Whereas Varus right now, the hover and counter for Roseville, and it's a lock. So Seraphine.
All right.
Seraphine could be flexed from mid or support. We've seen it in mid last week on the MNVL cast. I would be shocked if that's where it ends up. I think it's a little more common for the support, but we'll have to take a look at this last lock-in. It is Malphite coming out as the hover, and it's the lock. So second phase of bans kicking off. Very beefy front line I'm seeing in the Alistair Malphite from Hopkins. Whereas you're looking at a bit of a poke comp with that Varus Seraphine. A little bit start from the outside, work your way in. You have it engaged with Volibear. Now let's get a look at these bans, right? This is going to kind of determine what they are worried about and what they think these last picks are going to be. So you're probably looking at top lane bans or some mid lane bans. And Udyr, the first ban, question mark. Because Volibear normally is a jungler. So the Udyr ban, I mean, unless top lane plays it as a second behind Warwick, which I wouldn't be surprised. They're similar style champions. Twisted Fate coming out, a mid lane ban for Roseville. I like it. Very solid control mage. What do we have? Last bans here for Hopkins and Roseville. A very anticipated match here, folks. Week 5, man, we are just burning through this season. It feels like yesterday we were introducing Gummy, La Fever, off all of our casting interns this season, and now here we are. Already approaching the halfway mark. Skarner and Kane, the last bands to come through. Gummy, excited to be here for this league cast or what?
Oh, I'm very excited to see what happens. It's going to be first league game that I'm casting. You know what? Something cool might happen. We might see an upset here. We were talking about the advantages Hopkins can have for their deep character pockets, and it looks like they banned pretty well here. They got everything they needed to get, so maybe they can use that as an advantage. Hopefully.
There's your
We're just gonna have to wait
Mordekaiser.
and see. This is the Mordekaiser.
Yep, they locked in
Just
the
hit him with the
Mordekaiser.
big hammer. Hit him with the big hammer. It's the easy path to victory. I don't care what I was saying about Hopkins. Roseville's winning now.
We'll see, man. Listen, I'll tell you what. The Mordekaiser matchup in the Malphite is a very bullyable matchup. It is heavily favored, I would say, in the Mordekaiser's favor. As long as he takes smart trades early on, he can find himself an advantage and really kind of isolate the 1v1, which is top lane. It's an island, and Mr. Chair is definitely that carry threat on this Roseville side. So you're going to have to play smart. You have to play your cards right as Orianna rounds out the Roseville composition that will be piloted in the mid lane. A very balanced control mage can shockwave and completely shake up a team fight. We've seen it from the best. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on how that is played in the mid lane. Now waiting on this last pick, and it's a Silas coming through, man. A fan favorite. This guy steals ultimates, makes them his own. I mean, so everything that you see on Roseville's side can now be snatched away from our man Silas on Hopkins. So gonna be very interesting, man. You know, this is pretty balanced team comps, I would say, across the board. Very good team fights, and there's gonna be a lot of explosions going on this
I love
game
explosions. Oh, this is going to be a great one to see. Yeah, it looks no major flaws from my limited League knowledge can tell. So it looks like so far we're going to see a pretty balanced matchup, and it's going to come down really to how well these players play, what they can do.
For sure. You know, I'll just go lane by lane real fast before we cut away to the break and get ready for it. I'd got to say top lane advantage goes to Roseville because the Mordekaiser v Malphite matchup is really tough. For jungle, gotta be favored to the Lee Sin for the early game at least, right? You gotta find a way to get ahead on the Lee Sin. I mean, this is a guy that can really steamroll and get a team going. Mid lane's got to be favored to Silas as well. This 2v2 that Hopkins can put on with the Silas Lee Sin could prove to be quite deadly up against the Orianna Volibear. But now to the bot lane. The Varus Seraphine poke is insane, right? If they can keep their distance and they can keep this Alistar at bay, they can very much set themselves up for success and have a very solid start to this game one, folks. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we will be loading into Summoner's Rift for this banger of a matchup to kick off Week 5. Get your drinks, get your snacks. We'll be back in a jiff. Catch you soon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are moments away from getting into Week 5 League of Legends action. I am joined on the caster desk by my good pal, Gummy Narwhal. How are you doing? Ready for some League of Legends?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, and I'm ready for some League. It's going to be an exciting matchup between Hopkins and Roseville. I mean, we just saw some pretty good bans, I must say, from Hopkins. I mean, they played it exactly how they should have played it, banning
sure.
the right characters. And, bans, I feel like, as we were talking about before, are going to have a pretty big effect on this game. What are your thoughts on that, Skeptor?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely something we talked about pregame, right? Pick ban is one of the most important parts of setting your team up, getting the right matchups from the get-go, and getting a favorable, right, playing for whatever your game plan is. Whether you're playing for late game, whether you're playing for an early game, steamroll, team comp, right? You have to get what you want out of the team comp, and you have to execute on the game plan, right? It's a two-part process. Part one is now taken care of. All of our players loading into Summoner's Rift now. We have Roseville and Hopkins kicking it off, man. Gummy making his caster debut for League of Legends, and we're going to turn up the heat a little bit.
It's going to be a hype game between these two schools. Moving down already. We already got people rolling out. Looks like Roseville is ready to go. Already moving. Same with Hopkins. One person lagging behind, but he's moving. He's getting there.
Yeah, the double ghost setup. It's actually Volibear top in Mordekaiser jungle. So a bit of a switch up that I must say, I thought about it for a brief second, but I did not believe it was going to be a full follow through on the Mordekaiser jungle. So interesting point. It is Volibear into the Malphite and Mordekaiser in the jungle. So the 5-point comes through for the side of Hopkins, not allowing any kind of invade possible. And now it is the Roseville side moving back up to the top half and starting up on the top side. And a quick point to highlight, Mr. Chair, the top lane Warwick player, is piloting the Orianna in the mid lane. So
it's a switch up we have here.
Yeah, this is the curveball, like we like to say. A bit of an off-speed pitch here. Definitely within the ruling. We've seen it in times past. It's not crazy often that it happens, but given certain matchups, given specific things to happen, some players have role swapped in the past. So we'll have to see how Mr. Chair does in the mid lane here.
All right, Hopkins already going after their golem, getting some good damage on it. Trying to get off to a nice early game kind of advantage. You always want to start off on the right foot, and I feel like Hopkins, so far, I mean, not much has happened, but so far, are kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, opposite starts in the jungle. This is something we talked about too. Hopkins being that bottom lane play style, but now clearing up to top side means it's going to be reset, maybe gank towards bottom to kick off the game, whereas this Mordekaiser for the side of Roseville is clearing down towards bot lane. The only thing I have to say on that is the Seraphine Varus most likely will be pushing into that mid lane tower, and Haywolf Gaming is struggling on this.
Oh!
A little bit close for comfort, but he gets the job done.
That was one hit away from
in the top lane.
The game. All right,
Flappy Pants laying down some damage. Black Eyes has to fall back for now. Close trading up here between these heavyweights in the top lane.
Both of them just throwing themselves against each other. Minions, however, coming in to break up the fight a little before we get to see an outcome.
Yeah, but the level up for Flappy Pants. Does he go aggressive? Close to tower is the Malphite, so has that passage of safety for the time being. Passive comes back up. He gets a little bit of the shield. Prometheus dashes on to Orianna. Mr. Chair taking some damage. Phase Rush procs, so he gets that boost of move speed. And a nice trade back. Prometheus, known for these melee mages, now looking for a play. Margulon on the Lee Sin is close, but Mr. Chair not falling for any shenanigans here.
All right, we got our two players sitting in bot lane. Tuck. Oh, moving away from that. We got Margulon kind of just moving jungle.
Looking for a gank on Flappy Pants. No vision for the Volibear. He has Ghost and no Flash, but the Q goes sideways. Slow gonna land. Malphite lands the follow-up, but not enough damage, and Flappy Pants is gonna get out for now. It costs him the Ghost, but now Mr. Chair trying to bait Prometheus in. He goes for the bait, but Haywolf walked away, and it's a free first blood for Prometheus. The miscommunication comes out, and they get punished. It is the star player for Hopkins, Prometheus, who strikes first. Now goes forward for more. Hey, Wolf Gaming!
Oh!
You can't be serious!
Oh, no, gets caught out. That's Prometheus with a double kill early. Has a huge level lead now, has kind of free range in the jungle, and this is just so good for Prometheus. What a fantastic start.
Indeed, man. What a fantastic turn of events. Now Nunu trying to go in. The stun lands for Jin. Cobalt trying to put down the damage, but Alistair's going to drop first. Exhaust onto Jin to buy time. Not damage coming through. Cobalt flashes out.
Cobalt almost gone. Cobalt's gone.
Comes through, and it's a double kill for Tope.
All right, now bottom lane, secure for Roseville. Kind of
Silas
a bit of
is here,
trades
though.
here now, but
Surprise party! A new challenger approaches, and it's a killing spree for Prometheus. And Black Eyes takes out Volibear in the top lane. This is absolute mayhem within the first 5 minutes here.
Prometheus coming out of nowhere and just absolutely getting a huge gank down in bottom lane.
My goodness, they thought they were safe, but Prometheus, the sitting shark lying in wait. Now here, Mr. Chair, a good job of setting up the bait and trap, but look at the communication. Haywolf walks away, Mr. Chair flashes out, but the chains lay down the damage.
Oh,
and
just
overall, Hopkins get 4.
Well, you just can't bait Prometheus. You can try, but he's just going to turn it right around on you.
For real, man. I mean, that was a big play, a big step up there in finding that first blood, +2, and now gets 3 kills. He's already worth a 300 gold shutdown and coming back to lane with a hefty item advantage. This is going to be a problematic Silas. Let loose on Summoner's Rift. They locked up a boy, but let loose a killer, as the man would say. Silas is such a good champ for Prometheus, man.
I know, he's just making it look so clean. He's just been able to, so far, use his tools to his advantage and just constantly get kills with it. I mean, once we start getting into late game, I really feel like once he has all his tools, there's just going to be no stopping him.
Good highlight. I mean, that item advantage right now, he's going to have a boatload of damage to back up the engage. We'll see Margulon pathing towards bot lane right now, but the junglers may cross paths. Margulon jumps into the close brush, lands the Q onto Mordekaiser. Nice sidestep comes out for Haywolf, but the ward hop out for Margulon. And now control of this bottom side river. Lee Sin gonna fall back for the time being. And Roseville still showing some command after that Varus double kill in the bot lane. Haywolf thinking about a return gank though.
Ooh, Haywood looks like in a good position, just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen in bottom lane. See if his teammates can just make something happen, and if so, can he jump in and just seal the deal?
Haywolf hanging out here, but does not know that he's walking over vision, so very aware of this play. Hopkins are. We got a tie game in the gold department right now, so very tight matchup between these two squads. Flappy Pants pushing up this top lane. And now looking to go ahead and proxy this next wave. Take it out before it reaches the tower. But Black Ice goes back for some trade damage. Good shield coming down, and Flappy Pants going to look to trade out nicely in this 1v1.
Oh yeah, Black Ice just moving down. Get rid of some minions. Just kind of protect the tower a little bit. Nothing too crazy. I mean, towers so far do have fortification, so it is a little harder to damage them. But plus that segments thing, though. Ooh, when you hit those segments, you do get extra gold, and that could be really good for the economy here, which is so far really even. So just anything to break that stalemate.
Yep, those first 14 minutes, getting that turret plating gold pays dividends. Each plate, about half a kill in terms of the gold that it offers. So definitely bodes well to push in those waves, try to hit those and chip away at those towers, right? That's the main goal here. No neutral objectives claimed yet. Dragon on the map. The Ocean Dragon, the first to spawn here of the Drakes, and Rift Herald still available on the top side, as you were saying, Gummy.
Oh yeah, I was saying just kind of, it's been pretty even economy-wise.
Yeah.
And so we're just kind of sitting here waiting for the stalemate. And like, when is it going to break? Because when it breaks, I feel like one team is just going to start running away with it. Because when they have the advantage, they can just push. I mean, so far, we've seen a pretty strong advantage from Hopkins. I mean, up in kills by about 2, so Not a huge advantage, but still an advantage. However, they are slightly down in gold. So
Yeah,
it looks like we're just by a hair. But so it just looks like we're going to be sitting fairly even until we can wait and see the big difference maker play. And I feel like that's going to come from Prometheus.
The thing, too, to point out is we're reaching that mark in the game where all of our champions are hitting level 6, and now going aggressive in bot lane is this Hopkins team. Cobalt leading the charge on the Jhin. Margulon pulls up, but the curtain is called. Now Jhin letting loose on the shots. Good sidesteps.
Ooh, gets the last
final
hit.
Shot will hit, but not enough damage to make it critical.
All right,
rotating over. This is trouble. It's Prometheus to open up the 1v1. He ultis onto the Mordekaiser. Big damage coming out onto Haywolf Gaming. A 2-level lead for Prometheus as he waits for his cooldowns. He should very well come out on top in this 1v1. He goes back in for more.
The whole team, they're in the jungle.
Big fight back and forth. Prometheus goes down to Tokto. Can they win this fight? Roseville fighting back but flashing away. Now Hopkins trade back. The dive back in from Nunu. But it's Mr. Chair to find 2. Now Cobalt last alive in the 1-on-1. But it's Mr. Chair! It's Mr. Chair!
Mr. Chair walks away. The last man standing in the rumble of the jungle. There is no one left except for Mr. Chair there. So many trades, so much just happened. Now sitting at an even 7-7. However, Roseville now running away with the economy.
My goodness, what a fight to find. It is off the back of a Hopkins engage. The problem, the fight lasts a little bit longer than expected. A marvelous Seraphine ulti to open things up. Now peeling back the Orianna shockwave onto the front line, and then the cleanup. So much damage coming out from the Varus plus Orianna here. Seraphine landing this last bit of chip damage as well, and Mr. Chair picks up 2 right here. Big. And then Cobalt, look at the amount of minion damage. Cobalt walks up, beautiful sidestep, but soaking this damage. Orianna getting the ball back, and Jhin opts to auto a minion instead of going for the killing blow.
Oh, that hurts to see sometimes. You just one misclick, and suddenly that fight is gone.
Very true. League is a game of unfortunate misclicks that can pay the weight of a game. Now as Roseville up almost 2k gold lead, but it's Prometheus not trying to allow that to happen. He takes the Orianna shockwave, but won't find anything else.
Gets pulled by the Mordekaiser!
The chain won't land, and it's Roseville to find the killing blow onto Prometheus. Argulon running for the hills now. Mr. Chair speeding up Haywolf, and now Seraphine went down in a 2-on-2, but running for the hills is Cobalt now on 0 HP, and it's Roseville starting up this Ocean Dragon.
Alright, dragons, such a huge difference in games. Depends on if you get all the dragons and you get Dragon Soul, because it is a huge buff you get permanently for all your players. And there we go, Roseville walking away with the first dragon, no contesting. Probably smart, don't just want to throw away your lives for 1 dragon. There will be more. But again, Roseville still walking away with that advantage.
Yeah, I mean, Hopkins down a couple players at the time, people respawning, trying to get back out onto the map. So in times like that, it's not a bad idea to give that objective for now. Roseville earned it after the back of that team fight, and now first mythic, or rather second mythic item completed. As we have some champions getting those online. Orianna, Jhin, and the Varus. So the carries of the game so far coming online now with their first mythic items. So that damage bump coming into the game now, Gummy. So big HP drops is going to be coming in the near future. Gore Drinker now coming online from Argulon as well.
Oh yeah, that's just we were talking about economy. Very important. And it looks like Roseville starting to kind of walk away with the economy a little bit. I mean, it just kind of depends on... It's always the one more. Like, one more thing and suddenly they would be on top.
Uh-oh, Jhin alone. Cobalt standing a bit too far out without the support, and that's going to cost you. Jhin now in the negative category, so starting to struggle in that bot lane for Hopkins.
All right, now back to a little bit of the scrapyard with Flappy Pants and Nunu. Both junglers sitting and watching, not seeing Haywood, who just kind of runs in. That's Margulon gone!
And now the Volibear ultimate to drop the turret. No contestation coming out.
Oh,
Black
there's
Ice
Black
goes
Ice.
down. And it's Roseville showing the domination through the map so far.
Prometheus running up, just trying to hold that turret, because their minions are here. That turret could be very close to gone if Prometheus doesn't show up. So, good work, Prometheus, seeing his teammate in trouble and holding on. However, it is still a huge advantage for Roseville there, winning that fight. Just, man,
Yeah,
what a
Roseville.
play.
Yeah, what a play indeed. Finding success across the map. They collapse onto Margulon. Great damage and follow-up. They drop him first, and then the Volibear ultimate disabling that tower, so making that dive easy as pie. And now Haywolf trying to get this Rift Herald going. It's Prometheus to come over and contest first. Margulon showing up a little bit late, but neither team wanting to give this Rift Herald, so back into the fray we go. 2,000 HP on the Rift Herald. Who's going to get the killing blow? And it goes the way of Flappy Pants getting the killing blow. Margulon gets ultimated up, and that's the death realm for Mordekaiser. Prometheus being so stubborn about these fights, and it's going to continue to cost the Royals.
Oh, Roseville. They're just playing so nasty. They are just
here comes Herald.
Rolling. I mean, look at the economy right now. They are up about 5k. Just
turret's gonzo.
Oh,
Bye. And now add to the gold tally. A beautiful flash out from Toke. Dodges the Alistair. But look at the damage pump back onto the Jhin. Toke's gonna
there's Cobalt gone!
Nishi finds it on the Seraphine killing blow. Ultimate's gonna stun up Alistair for now. And then he gets the flash out. Can they find the snipe though? Berescu gonna be up in a second. Not gonna be able to find it. He's gonna get out of range.
Just barely. Oh, one last shot in there. Just trying to get something. Not quite able to grab it though. Oh, that would have been so close. Nunu at such low health.
Look at the gold chart just skyrocketing the way of Roseville now. And it's off the back of some poor decision-making. Hopkins not giving themselves time to recover, gather some resources and gold for themselves. They continue to run into the meat grinder of this Roseville team fight, and you can see the gold graphs there. Roseville has absolutely blown this game open now, sitting on about a 6,000 gold lead.
Ooh, wow. Just look at the graph. It is such a huge advantage for Roseville, and that number is only going to get bigger. It's time for Roseville to start steamrolling. That's kind of the situation we're sitting at right now. Unless we see some big game-changing plays, just earth-shattering, this is Roseville's.
Yeah, right now, Roseville surely in the driver's seat. We have seen some gold lead switches throughout our MNVL League tenure so far, so not safe enough yet, right? I'd still add some more insurance for Roseville. A couple more dragons would do them nicely, but the way they're fighting and playing right now surely can lead to an end result that they would like. So, got to continue to play smart, though. There's still a lot of game left.
Flappy Pants moving in on that turret. Oh, there it is. Another turret
ghosting forward. Black Ice has to ultimate away, and that's the kill pressure that Flappy Pants has on this Volibear. And Mr. Chair, unstoppable, drops Prometheus in the mid lane.
Oh! We're really seeing what you were saying before, how Roseville just has a strong top lane and mid lane. That's kind of where they play, and it's where they've been strongest so far this game. I mean, they have already taken turrets in top and mid lane. They're just pushing straight through. Those are really Roseville's lanes.
Yep.
That's where they're going to push, and that's where the game's going to be decided.
Margulon's thinking about a steal attempt. He has no team with him, so Haywolf going to smite this one away, and it's a 2-dragon lead the way of Roseville. Margulon standing way too close for comfort. Are you serious? Ooh! Your team is nowhere to be found. That's just disrespectful. In Mr. Chair dominating on the Rift. Now looking forward, Cobalt.
Mr. Chair maybe looking for another.
This is a troubling fight. Prometheus channeling the teleport in now, pulling up into the backline now, going on to Mr. Chair. Has flash available, doesn't opt to use it yet, gets the phase rush, able to run away. Seraphine lands the charm onto one. Prometheus going forward, can't land the chains. The Seraphine ult for himself, the flash out, but it's shut down the way of Prometheus. Now, Toke gonna find one. Prometheus running away,
just running for his life as he is chased down by 3 of Roseville's finest here.
Pull, beautiful sidestep from Prometheus, and he's gonna get out.
All right,
Good
makes
work.
it back to his team, survives, but I cannot say the same for the rest of his teammates. That team fight just way in the way of Roseville.
Yeah.
Roseville now sitting at 18-9. Yeah, this is Roseville favored. They've really just put on a masterclass in team fights. I mean, I think they've only lost 1 team fight so far, and that was one where only 1 man was standing alive.
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, you know, early on in the game, Hopkins was keeping it very close and tight, but through the middle parts of this game, it has been Roseville to separate themselves from their opposition. Now, Baron Nashor 20 seconds away from spawning into the Rift, and I think Roseville are going to have their sights set on that objective very soon after it gets onto the map here. Here we have Coke position towards mid. Mr. Chair in bot lane right now, getting set up in a 2-on-1. It's Black Ice and Nunu. Not a lot of damage for these 2 champions. So Mr. Chair spots him on a ward and falls back for now. Not too threatened by this. Still has flash available as well.
Yeah, smart move by Mr. Chair. Picking your battles. Don't want to do something stupid just because you're playing hot. You know, we can always just turn back around. So it's a smart decision to walk away there.
Yep. Playing it back and forth, right? Drawing these defenders, rather this red squad of Hopkins towards the bot lane and setting up an opportunity to get more vision in the top half of the map, clear out some wards that Hopkins have, and play for this Baron. Now Nunu trying to hold out the minions in mid. Haywolf Gaming thinking about a long flank is on a ward, so
oh, but 2 more show up!
And now a big fight leading, but it's Roseville heavy favored, and they continue to punish the Hopkins Royals as they clean up 3-0 in the fight. In Baron Nashor next on the cards. Mr. Chair pushing up mid lane as his squad mates moving over to start up Baron.
Oh, when I saw those 2 more players show up, I thought that would be Roseville would be done. I thought they'd get hit from behind, it would be the end of Roseville, but I was proven wrong. Mr. Chair just turning it right back around, getting a nice stun so Haywolf could just get some damage in. Now, going to be taking this Baron pretty clean with no contesting. Cobalt kind of... Yeah, Cobalt kind of sitting out of position, but running back away. Just trying to get back to his teammates and maybe make a desperate last stand with his team.
And in the meantime, right, Mr. Chair cleaned up that mid lane inhibitor turret, so now an open inhibitor in mid lane. And this Roseville squad setting up to push top / bottom, but here we have a replay. These Seraphine ultimates have been quite on par so far this game for Roseville. And Silas, Prometheus, not as tanky as you want to be, and those HP bars are dropping quickly.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, just looking at it, Roseville has been melting Hopkins. I mean, Hopkins just hasn't been alive long enough to retaliate. That's just kind of just how it's gone. I mean,
Nunu looking on the Flappy Pants. Flappy Pants thinking about going forward. Opts to go on to Nunu first. Healing up a little bit for the time being. Ultimate's popped. Flappy Pants has Ghost and Ultimate for himself, so if he chooses, he can make something happen here. Get stunned up for now. Trying to bait Jin forward, but overall just kind of hanging out. Now going to get stunned up, and this is where it gets interesting. Pops the Ghost, and that's just too disrespectful. Flappy Pants not realizing the damage up front and gets dropped. So
yeah, that was a huge mistake by Flappy Pants. I mean, he was in disadvantage. There were 2 people right there who could have got him, and he just kept going. He ulted right in, using that charge ability, just trying to get something, and it did not turn out well for him. But now, going on the Dragon, Prometheus contesting.
No smite, and it's going to go over the way of Hopkins. A smart ultimate comes out from Prometheus, but in the end, it's 2 kills the way of Roseville. And now they look to push mid while they have a little bit of clock left on this Baron buff power play. Mr. Chair's second blue buff in a row stolen away from Hopkins. And Hopkins now in trouble. This inhibitor might be dropping Gummy.
Oh, yeah. It does look like if we see just one more team fight go in the favor of Roseville, we're going to see that inhibitor gone. I mean, maybe not even win the team fight. Maybe they just need to show up and do it.
Pressing
Inhibitor already have.
Big Malphite ultimate. Seraphine overextends, and it's Hopkins to open up the killing on the fight. But now, Black Ice goes down quickly. Lots of damage back onto him. Varus hits the double kill. It's Flappy Pants dropping this tower quickly. Prometheus steals the Bully Bear ultimate, goes in aggressively onto Mr. Chair. But the peel and kite back from Roseville is too strong. The damage rains through. It's Toke and Mr. Chair to find them all.
Oh!
And Hopkins claim the last Nexus turret. Roseville claimed the last Nexus turret and will end this game in under 25 minutes.
A quick one for Roseville. Just at the end there, they showed up and we thought, okay, maybe they'll take the inhibitor. And that'll kind of be the thing. And then they took the turret. I'm like, all right, now here comes Hopkins. Hopkins will, throw him out. And we'll see one more team fight before Roseville takes it. But no, Roseville just says, we're getting it done right here. We're here. Why wait? We're just going to win this team fight, take out that Nexus, and win this game.
For real.
Just fantastic play from Roseville there.
Yeah, man.
That is how you steamroll.
No, for real. Close game through the first 10 minutes, and then a little bit of separation built. But once that happened, Roseville made no great mistakes, right? They really were in the driver's seat from the middle points of that game till the end, and they closed out pretty cleanly. That top half of the map, man, is problematic, and we're going to have to see how Hopkins adapts and gets ready for game number 2, folks. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, game 2 action between these two squads. Stay tuned for more action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Minnesota Varsity League. We have some Tuesday night League of Legends action kicking off our week 5. And so far, match 1 was an absolute treat. We have Roseville and Hopkins duking it out here tonight. I mean, played an exceptional first game between the two of them. Gummy, what were your thoughts on that first match?
I mean, just looking at it, Roseville really ran away towards the end there. I mean, at the beginning, it was kind of even. We had some trades. I'm pretty sure it was like 7-7 around to that point. It was fairly even. And then Hopkins just got steamrolled by Roseville because Roseville, they just found something. I don't know what it was, but they found one opening and they just took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fantastic match from Roseville, and I'm really looking forward to see what they could do game 2.
Yeah, that's the big interesting point, right? Is we have a second game coming up between these same squads. And the main question is, what will Hopkins do differently? For starters, it seems as though they have elected to take the blue side of things after dropping map 1. So benefits of that, they will have first pick. They will be able to have a couple. I mean, ban first doesn't really make a difference, right? But that first pick, the main point to highlight, whereas Roseville is going to have those counter pick options for the solo lanes if they choose. So just something to look at between these two squads. Very even early game that we saw, but overall, Roseville finding the better in the team fights.
Honestly, just looking at it. So, looking just kind of at what needs to change, because obviously something has to change. I mean, it was going okay for Hopkins at first, but how bad they got steamrolled once the economy was in Roseville's favor, once the kills were in Roseville's favor, something needs to change. What do you think we're going to see different in these bans?
That's just the thing. They start with the Varus ban, so they didn't like playing against that rangy poke style AD carry, so they take that one out first. Roseville continue on with that Viego ban. So nothing quite out of the ordinary yet. They stay with the Warwick ban. They stay with the Gangplank ban. Keeping things pretty much the same, except the only alteration is that Varus ban coming out for Hopkins right now, and it's all 3 same bans for Roseville. So nothing different for our game 1 victors in the switch up of taking out Toke's AD carry from last game. So we'll have to see what Hopkins' first pick now.
It's going to be interesting to see how Roseville deals with their main AD carry, but you know what? I feel like they're probably going to be able to just find a different champion that they have time with. Another Mordekaiser coming back for a draft pick. I'm happy with that. I like the Mordekaiser, how it worked last time, especially with the Seraphine, if we don't see another Seraphine ban. Because you would just stun them, and then you hit them. It was a classic combo, and it just worked fantastically. So if we see more of that, I'm going to be happy for Roseville.
The Sejuani lock coming out for Hopkins, so a bit of a switch up there. Opting for that tankier pick. Could be flex top lane, most likely played in the jungle. We'll keep our eyes peeled for that. Mordekaiser, obviously flexible to top or jungle, but the Udyr luck coming out potentially. My goodness.
All right, getting the big boy in here. Whenever I see him, I always think Thor.
Yeah.
No, not Thor. I either think Thor or I'm thinking Zeus. It's whatever God of War I saw last.
Yep.
Whatever's just kind of in my mind.
No, I hear you. Aatrox coming out too. So the big guns getting called in for this one. Aatrox, one of the most meta and technically best top laners in the game currently. Healing is through the roof. Damage unmatched. And I mean, he's just a beast. So, in the Lulu follow-up, man, Hopkins has an annoying team right now. That's what I will say.
All right, but there's that Seraphine we were talking about earlier. How it was working just so well for Roseville, just to stun him and hit him. And I feel like we're going to just see more of that, but with Hopkins' new team comp, we might see something more even. I mean, it just depends on how well Roseville can deal with the slightly more annoying team comp.
Yeah, the Silas band coming out, so they don't want to see Prometheus back on that pick that he piloted in game 1. We'll have to see how Hopkins adapts to the remainder of their bans here. I'd say you're shooting at more 80 carry bands, and that's exactly what we see. Caitlyn, the first one taken out. And what are we going to see the next one as? Maybe, there's a lot of options.
There's a lot
of options. Maybe a Jinx ban. She's been pretty solid recently.
Just anything to try and shut down Roseville.
Yeah, I mean, the bot lane was every part of the lanes were in a good spot. It felt like from Roseville, right? Pretty even back and forth early game, but once that mid to late hit, and it's a Lilia last ban, so not opting to continue to add to the 80 carries, and it's a misfortune pick, and Locke potentially staying with that poke heavy bot lane, and that is another dangerous duo between the two of them if that one gets locked in, and it is. So the Pirate Queen stepping onto the Rift tonight.
It looks deadly for Roseville, what they have going here. I mean, a lot of the same idea they had game one, and if they have the same idea, they're going to have the same result.
That's a sick pick. Aphelios coming out for Hopkins. Aphelios Lulu, a pretty solid lane if you can scale up and get some items on the back of them, but overall, early game has to have a little bit of a favoring towards Roseville's bot lane. They're just a little bit longer range, and they can chip away at this Lulu and this Aphelios a bit. So we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on how bot lane goes specifically, but it was Roseville to get the advantage last game, and it's Azir to be the mid lane lock for Prometheus. The first control mage we are seeing him play. It has only been melee assassin or melee mage type champions. So a little bit of a switch up in the dynamic going down here for Prometheus on the Azir, and I like the pick. Let's see what Mr. Chair is going to match with, and he goes with the Ice Bird Anivia. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, interesting, but I mean, this is Mr. Chair. He was the MVP last match for Roseville. So I really feel like no matter what champion he picks, he's probably going to be able to get some mileage out of it. Just hopefully he's able to kind of be do the same deal he did last time and get that same mileage, be kind of the team carry,
This is going to be another back and forth brawly matchup. The top half of the map, your typical tanky bruiser type stand in front, and then it is nothing but hard range and carry potential on both of these squads. We're going to have to keep a very close eye on the jungle pathing, etc. But before we get into that, folks, another quick moment to shout out our sponsor for the evening, guys, Wisdom Gaming, right? Wisdom has been a part of MNVL. Listen, I don't got to keep saying it forever, okay? It goes Wisdom, and then it goes MNVL, okay? That's how it goes. We are nothing without our primary sponsor, Wisdom, guys. Like,
they've been here day one, not even day one, day zero.
Day negative, 20 something, whatever it was. Seriously, right? The new studio, if you have not seen it, exciting news for you. You're going to get a chance to check it out because we're having our state tournament back at the Wisdom Studio at MOA, folks. We got merch at the store. If you want to get your hands on some MNVL merch and you haven't gotten an opportunity to do it yet, I'd say go stop by there while they still have it in stock. It's a hot commodity, so get it while you can. And a thanks to Wisdom. But now, Gummy, any final words from you before we go to a break before the second game?
Looking at it, we got to see a change from Hopkins, and I'm very excited to see some huge plays from Roseville.
Yeah.
And thank you, Wisdom. But that's all I got to say. I feel like it's time. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back with some more Fantastic League of Legends. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few moments away for getting back into our series tonight between Hopkins and Roseville. Game 1 went handedly in favor of Roseville. Now we're getting ready for Game 2. Gummy, we saw those drafts. What are you liking and what are you not liking going into this Game 2?
Going into it, I'm liking Roseville. I mean, they kept mostly the same strategy with a pokey bottom lane. They kept the Mordekaiser for the jungle that can also kind of combo with the Seraphine. I like what Roseville's doing. They keep kind of a lot of the same, which worked last time, so why change?
Right.
I mean, they had to change off a few champions because of Hopkins bans, but overall, Roseville just kind of has the same deal. And I feel like the same deal is exactly what they need.
Yeah. I mean, we saw how they played in Game 1. They stuck to a similar game plan, and now we get back on to Summoner's Rift for the final time of the evening. And here we have it. Aggressive start coming out from Roseville, invading this enemy jungle, and there's no vision here. Oh, Mordekaiser accidentally popped Ghost, so going to be able to push up, but they are about to run into each other. We have a role swap too. Black Ice playing the support this game, and Nunu in the top lane. And now running into each other.
Oh, that is...
Big stun. Big double stun, and that's first blood going over to the bot lane of Roseville. And man, oh man, a bad start to this game is something that Hopkins could not afford. And now here we are already a first blood advantage the way of Roseville.
Oh, just what a move by Roseville. And what a kind of statement move that was. I mean, they moved all the way through just kind of from the bottom. All of their players, I mean, before minion spawned, already taking first blood. Just a ballsy move. I gotta hand it to Roseville there. Just what a move.
The invade, catching him off guard. Aftershock Aatrox is definitely a question mark in the chat. But he's up against an Udyr top, which isn't the most meta thing either. So maybe he didn't change his runes from the Alistair runes he had last game. That's what I'm going to put my money on. Nunu
maybe
up in the top lane, taking on Flappy Pants' Udyr. He had a good showing on the Volibear game 1, but now here switching over. Udyr did get banned game 1 too, so maybe it was a target ban.
Maybe. I mean, even if it's off meta, it can still find success. I mean, from my game Smash Bros, off meta characters who just come at the bottom of tier lists can still find success at tournaments because not a lot of people play them, so there's not a whole lot of experience dealing with them. So that could kind of be a bit of a matchup check in the top lane. It can maybe just lead in favor of Roseville here, who already has... No, sorry, in Hopkins' favor, who already has... they just need every advantage they can get, considering just how good Roseville is.
Yeah. Here we have it. Flappy Pants pushing hard in the top lane here. Nunu trying to trade back, doing so effectively on the Aatrox right now. Not a lot of damage. The Doran shield going aggressive though, trying to get a read and a look onto Flappy, but starting to trade back. Falling lower and lower on HP. Nunu does have Ignite as well, so Flappy's got to be a little bit careful here. Nunu's definitely looking for a kill here. But,
yeah.
Ooh, Haywolf pulling up at the exactly perfect time here. Now looking for a potential invade onto Sejuani, but Nunu rotating over, gets the ward down onto Flappy. And now a little bit of a potential running into each other here. Haywolf up top, and Markulon spots him out. But maybe not. Half HP.
Oh, but Prometheus is coming up!
Markulon is in trouble here. Ward spots him. Prometheus is here first. Anivia not rotating over, so some free damage going over. And now looking for this crab. Markulon backing up, not in smite range anymore. And now trying to flee away towards this bottom crab. Roseville well in control of this top half of the map.
Oh yeah, just kind of avoiding the team fights so far. Not really going at it. I mean, it was good for Haywolf, then bad for Haywolf, and then it was pretty even. And even when it was even, Roseville deciding not to engage and kind of just wait. just kind of hold their own and decide when is the right time to
Oh,
pounce.
no mana on this. Udyr getting stunned up.
Ooh.
Ignite not coming out
Ooh.
yet. And Udyr just going to heal up for the time being. Getting the better of the CS department as well. So Nunu finding the chip damage, but overall, nothing critical.
Yeah, Flappy looking like he is losing that top lane. Not looking too good. Gonna need a bit of a change in game plan, perhaps? Or maybe just gotta wait a little bit until he gets that advantage after a few team fights.
Yeah, it's a matchup thing. Aatrox just has that range on him with that Q poke. So for now, just trying to CS, but he's doing a good job. He's a little bit ahead on the minions count right now. So going to be looking for a recall pretty soon here as he's been out of mana for quite some time now. Margulon going back as well. So both these squads pretty quiet after the first blood play so early on, but plates being collected in the bot lane.
Oh yeah, just trying to get that economy up. It worked so well for Roseville once they had that huge economy lead.
Didn't get the plate,
so maybe
man.
just trying to get
that thing's on like 1 HP.
Oh yeah, it's almost there. Come on guys, just move your minions a little.
They're working on it. The mana being so low is affecting how quick they can push this wave out. 6 HP left on the plate. That is unlucky. I think MF did cancel an auto though. I saw the leg and
perhaps a minion will be able to just take it.
No, it's good though if they don't. The players wouldn't have gotten the gold there. So the fact that it stays up for the time being. Ooh, Mr. Cher not able to find that stun in the mid lane. Looking for some more damage, but just out of that ultimate range. So that wall just a little bit too far out there. And Prometheus doesn't take as much damage as he would have. And now Anivia gets the recall off. Teleport is available. Flappy Pants moving down into this river. Margulon spots him out, but doesn't go aggressive yet. Waiting for the Aatrox. Now get a Blast Cone over, and they set up a trap play. Margulon doesn't click the Blast Cone in time. Now gets the dash onto Udyr. Udyr will empowered E to dodge that CC and get out for now. No flash necessary. Good play from Flappy Pants.
Oh, just smart gameplay there to get out of that. Because that was a dead situation unless something changed. And he was able to just use his smarts and get out. Get out as quick as he can. And it just worked fantastically, and he's not gonna be heading back to spawn anytime soon.
Good push here coming out from Mr. Chair, trying to work down his first play of the game, and will find it now. Roseville almost up 2,000 gold here, about roughly. Haywolf Gaming now going in for an invade onto Sejuani. Margulon level 5, Haywolf level 5. Both these players trading out back and forth. Now Flappy Pants going aggressive in top lane. Gonna get all in from the World Ender on the Aatrox, but this healing coming in for Flappy Pants proving to cause some problems. Ignite comes out late, but it's not gonna be enough to tick away at this HP bar of Flappy.
We have Flappy getting to the safety of his turret. But over now, with some minions showing up, it's not so safe anymore. This could be a chance for Nunu to maybe... Oh! We're seeing some battles here in bottom lane.
Haywolf just putting on the damage onto Margulon, but now Azir showing up to the party. Haywolf a little bit caught out if Prometheus goes onto him, but not a lot of HP on Prometheus, so this could be problematic.
Oh, they're about to run into each other.
The shuffle will come out. Exhaust onto the Azir. They flash forward. MF finds what? Both?
Oh! And there goes Prometheus.
I don't know
what
how
happened.
Toke found 2 kills there, but somehow, some way, it is Roseville managing to stay alive. The setup was there from Prometheus a little bit late on the shuffle coming through, and in the end, it is Roseville striking the scoreboard 4-1 here. Flappy's in trouble, man. Staying forward again. The quick damage, not going to be enough. Playing with fire in this top lane, man. But you can only get away with it so many times.
Oh, so low. Yeah, Flappy really just kind of at the disadvantage here against Nunu. Just constantly so low, and has had to run back to the safety of his turret so many times. Now just teleporting back to spawn.
Yeah, no teleport to get back to the lane here. Here we see the play. Prometheus trying to set up the shuffle, the flash. Goes for an auto first. Cobalt flashes directly
Oh!
face first into the Misfortune ultimate, dies, and then Misfortune pops the Lulu. So, just well played and better play from Toke, sitting down Cobalt and Black Ice in that bot lane play. This Misfortune is very strong now.
Working out so well, just able to just poke at a range
Mr.
like what we
Chair's in
saw
trouble.
last game. Oh,
Argulon walks
Mr.
up
Chair
completely,
now all
hits
alone
the
against
ultimate
two.
point blank. Mr. Chair still has passive form available and will stay up for now.
We've just seen so many times Hopkins has come so close
But
to
walks
just
up
getting
forward,
one pick.
ignores
Oh.
Azir's damage. He's not auto-attacking with the soldiers. So Prometheus now at a disadvantage stage yet again. Full HP bar back for Mr. Chair. Prometheus with no flash has to play careful right now. If a stun comes through for Mr. Chair, that is going to be a dead bird in the mid lane.
Oh, yeah. All right, channeling back just to try and get some more HP. Smart play. Just kind of move back. Just stay alive. Especially with Haywolf sitting in the wings. I mean, Prometheus doesn't know that, but it's still deadly.
For sure. Playing smart, you don't have vision of that opponent. You gotta take it into account and play cautiously. Nunu trading back into the top lane, going aggressive. Margulon coming in from the river as World Ender is now popped. Flappy in a 1 versus 2. He just doesn't know it yet, and now trying to escape, but the CC not coming quite through yet. Nunu not landing these Qs, and Flappy just dancing back and forth. Now Haywolf showing up to the party a little bit late, but can he turn the tides? The favor of Roseville. Now ultimate onto Margulon, waiting at the edge of the arena, but gonna take critical damage here as Mordekaiser drops the hammer on the head of the piggy, and it's Roseville making it a 6-1 ball game.
What a play there by Haywolf, moving up a little late to the party, but still able to be fashionable, and gets that kill with just a fantastic ultimate to lock down his opponent to get that kill. Just what a move.
Yeah, what a move, what a setup, and it's Roseville. They might have had a shaky or even early game last game with Hopkins, but make no mistake, it is not the case or play that is going down here on game number 2. Roseville have been commanding this one.
Definitely. Looking at it, Roseville up about 4K in gold just clean. They're just starting to get the steamroll effect, because that's kind of how League works sometimes. Sometimes, you know, it's even, but other times it's just a steamroll where you start getting money, you can start buying items, and suddenly it just starts going your way. And it's starting to look like that so far for Roseville.
Yeah, here we have it. Haywolf hovering in mid lane, protecting Mr. Chair. Now Margulon wrapping in, but Haywolf has had the reads all game long. It is Margulon who has been getting caught off guard time and time again, and now Rift Herald coming down, and this is surely going to be mid T1 going the way of Roseville. Shelly going to make the charge happen, and that turret hits the deck. Now Roseville expand that gold lead and continue to put the pressure onto this Royals squad.
They just keep moving. Rift
Shut
Herald
down onto Toke, but it's Black Ice to get it, so the best player to give that shutdown and gold over to is the support Black Ice. So whether it was a calculated play or not, it plays benefit to Roseville at the end of the day.
Just good plays by Black Ice. I feel like what happened was he probably just got cut out in a 1v1. There was a small mistake. He took advantage and was able to get that kill in a shutdown.
Ghost
but
pop
Mordekaiser now joining the party.
Not getting in range for that pullback, so now trying to figure out what the move is next. Here's the play. Cobalt's just sitting under tower, completely disrespecting the Misfortune. And then the polymorph slash exhaust ultimate, and Black Ice is going to take care of that. Fighting back in the top lane. It is Floppy taking a lot of damage, but Nunu not having that extra bit of damage he needs. It's that Aftershock rune, man. It's just not helping the cause. Floppy running away for now. Going to shield up and heal up. Heavy now starting to try to trade this one back.
Try to get some advantage. Maybe use his minions
As Ignite
a little.
Again, and going to start to look for this kill here, but taking a lot of damage in the process. Now the chains won't quite drag him back as Flappy gets out for now. It is Nunu continuing to look for blood in this top lane.
Yeah, you had to use a whole lot of abilities there to even try to get out of there, but fakes a channel, jumps on Flappy. Are we going to see something?
Absolutely not. Flappy wins this. He has Ignite available. He's just not going forward for the kill. Just a little bit of not knowing your champion's range. You're almost at full rage on that Udyr. You definitely could have done a little bit more than kite back and forth, but it seems as though that's just the way Flappy plays. Well, Prometheus gets stunned
like
up.
We got a big team
now
fight.
half HP. MF laying down the deep.
Oh!
And the crit are going to send that bird back to the fountain. And now it's Roseville starting up this second Dragon, man. Nice smite comes out from Haywolf. No problems there. It's a 6,000 gold lead the way of Roseville. And right now it's 2 Drakes to 0.
Yeah, Roseville just winning the jungle battle here. Just getting their enemies. I mean, they had that Rift Herald earlier they were able to use to take a turret. They've just been winning jungle, and it's been one of the deciding factors in this matchup.
Here we have the Mordekaiser clearing up towards top lane. Udyr trading back and forth with the Aatrox. Now has Conqueror fully procced. Cobalt trying to get back into this fight. Healing back is this Misfortune, but no way. About to send them all to the decks, man. This Misfortune is hitting hard. As Margulon, the lone survivor in a 2-on-3. And with Roseville coming out on top in that, you gotta think that the ship is only sinking at a quicker rate here for Hopkins. Nunu going forward in the 1-on-2. Teleport coming in to back him up for now. Prometheus trying to get in range. Goes in with the shuffle, pushes him forward.
Oh, that's going to be the
timely ultimate, but Nunu comes out in the 1-on-1. Now it's Flappy trying to get out. The Ignite comes through, but no further damage going to be in range, and Flappy will survive for now. It's Mr. Chair now on the flank. Nunu heals up off the Gore Drinker, will go down. Now Prometheus up next. Mr. Chair on top of him. One more E could maybe do it. Prometheus dashes back in. It's Flappy to trade back out.
Oh!
And it's
there
Mr.
it is, hits him from a range!
My goodness.
Just barely finds that. Oh, what a move there from Mr. Chair. Just barely reaching. That's how you use range attacks to your advantage. You got melee characters, you got range characters. That's just kind of how you take the advantage.
Yep. Playing it smart, dancing back and forth, in and out, and it's Roseville coming out on top here yet again, Gummy. And this is almost a 10,000 gold lead at this point. Roseville are, I mean, just well in charge yet again here.
Yeah, this is just a matter of time until Roseville just gets that one team fight they're looking for, and they just push into the enemy team spawn. It's looking really good for Roseville.
Yet again, I mean, Roseville looking for a 2-0 and looking to improve to 4-0-1 here in this League of Legends division. Definitely one of the heaviest hitters we have here. And look at this, Cobalt trying to hide in the bush. MF opens up with the bullet time and will drop Cobalt quite low, below half HP for now. But damage back onto this tower, and Misfortune still the bigger threat here. Seraphine on this flank looking for the angle, finds an ultimate, only lands onto Sejuani, but the killing starts the way of Roseville. Death Realm channeled for Haywolf, and now Black Ice gonna go down that hammer.
Oh, that's...
That hammer!
It's hammer time, baby!
My
Just
goodness.
get a few more in there.
Rampage.
Here we have it, Nunu trading on to Flappy. This has just been the wet noodle fight in the top lane. Nobody dies. But as I say it, Flappy gonna get dragged back, will flash away, and lives to tell the tale. But look at this, going
right back into the fight. But he's so low, but doesn't matter. He just runs right back in.
Yeah, either the most intelligent 400 IQ player or the most just straightforward bruiser type of player around. It's Flappy Pants 06. This is a very low
three
Seraphine.
of Roseville going after this Rift Herald, trying to maybe push a little more on the turrets.
And trying to take this one out quickly before Baron Buff spawns in. I mean, you just can't be serious dying to Rift Herald like that, man. First death of the game for Seraphine because they didn't realize that Rift Herald punches back. So now you know.
Now you know. It's a learning experience.
Yep.
Hey.
Learning the hard way. The hardest way.
Now they know.
A death on the scoreboard. But still in a good spot, right? You get Rift Herald. Baron Nashor spawning in 15 seconds. And Cloud Dragon 15 seconds to follow after that. So getting ready for some neutral objective action, and Roseville is on the brink of blowing this game wide open.
Yeah, the economy is already in such huge favor of Roseville. I mean, 10K. After that, 11K.
Bullet time coming out, and Prometheus is just going to get soloed. I don't know what these guys are thinking. This is a fed misfortune. You cannot walk up point blank to a misfortune like that and not think you're going to catch some bullets coming back at you.
But dragon up, and it's just going to be clean for Roseville. Just taking this dragon, making it the third one in their collection. One away from that huge buff.
And now soul point achieved for Roseville, looking to clean house here in game number 2 and looking to make quick work of this Hopkins squad here. Now starting up, Baron Flappy can trade all day long with Nunu in the top lane. This top lane turret, not much longer for the world here. Teleport coming out. Flappy doesn't cancel it in time by killing the turret, but now Baron goes down in favor of Roseville.
Roseville now, huge advantage to push. Turret, inner turret is now gone. Just one more left to go before they reach spawn.
Look at that chunk damage coming out onto Margulon. Toke does so much damage, and Nunu's not looking at the map. Azir ultimate buys some time and saves him for now, but a beautiful Seraphine ultimate onto Aatrox will cause him to use the World Ender. Now, bottom lane being pushed out for Hopkins. Granted, mid lane is under siege. Lulu has hit the deck, and now the push comes through. Toke finds another, and it's Roseville cleaning up the server. Oh, Azir finds a double kill though. Prometheus trying to turn the tides, but it's Toke in a 1v1, and it's Prometheus to bail out first. Middle inhibitor now about to drop as Shelly is called in, and there's a chance Roseville pushes for the end right now. Nunu, the only player pushing to defend the base. The ultimate comes out to save Mr. Chair. It's only Shelly working the towers, and it's going to be Roseville trying to push for the end here, man. Not going to happen.
Rift Herald being such a huge difference maker there. Already taking one turret.
Back and forth, dude. Black Ice is going to die as well now. It's a triple kill for Haywolf. And it's Margulon taking serious damage. It's an open Nexus, and it's Roseville trying to end this game right here, right now, Gummy. Hopkins have no answer. They have no response. That is it. It's a 22-minute and 30-second wipe for Roseville.
What a play by Roseville there at the end. Distract him with the top lane, make him think, all right, we're having some team fights up here. We're having some team fights up here. And then Haywolf, and I forget the other guy's name. Can you fill me in for a second?
Mr. Chair.
And Mr. Chair just come in right through the middle, just kind of hit him with the old, we're attacking from up here, and then hit him right from the middle.
Yeah, I mean, they had no idea. They had no reaction until it was too late. Rift Herald does so much damage, is such a threat for taking that base, and it is Hopkins that get punished in the end. I mean, Game 1 was close and a lot of back and forths and good fun. Game 2, Roseville did not play around in the slightest. A 23-5 kill domination coming out for Roseville.
Just fantastic play. And I have to give props out to Toke, I think it's pronounced, for just a fantastic game sitting on Misfortune. Able to use that a lot of times to win team fights, just constantly using it in just the right situations to keep Roseville in the lead. I mean, he is also the MVP for Roseville this match, sitting with the highest stats. So just congratulations, Toke. You played really well there.
For sure. Folks, we are going to take a quick break. We are going to come back with an interview from one of our Roseville players. We'll keep it a surprise until we announce it when we come back. But for now, stay tuned if you want to hear from one of the studs on this Roseville League of Legends squad. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for the closing acts of our Tuesday Week 5 broadcast. Gummy and I are joined by Mr. Chair, the mid lane player for Roseville. Mr. Chair, how are you doing tonight? And I wanted to ask first and foremost, how what's have you been playing mid like the whole season? Because most of your champions that you play seem to be top laners.
Uh, I used to play a lot of mid back in I think season 10, although I started moving to top lane. So I've just been playing the characters I used to play
For
in
sure.
season 10.
All right.
Nice.
Hey, you got some good experience in mid lane. You were able to make some really big plays in mid lane, especially game two at the end there, to kind of just clinch the win. What was the thought process from like beginning to end, doing that kind of big backdoor play where you kind of have a few people at the top, kind of pretending like you're going top lane, and then you and Haywolf just pushing in through mid?
Yeah.
What was kind of your thought process beginning to end?
So when we got the Baron, we decided to split up, like have a majority of our team go top and then me and Haywolf go mid. We saw Philios was bot side and Lulu was alone mid. So we just decided to push through mid and end while the top side just distracted the majority of the team.
For sure, man. I
Yeah,
mean, it played out nicely. You
I mean,
guys were able to clinch up.
it was just a fun play to see. I mean, it's strategy, hit him at the top, and then kind of actually seeking the real force through the middle.
Yeah, I
Mr.
think
Chair, I got another question for you here. So you just took down Prometheus, who has been one of the bigger mid laners that we've seen so far. We've seen some highlight plays. You know, what does this mean for other mid laners in the league that you're going up against? What's kind of the message that's being sent? Are you kind of the top dog in the mid lane pool?
I do believe I am one of the best mid laners in this MNVL season.
I like the one of the best there. Got to stay humble. Well, man, you might just be the best. You've played really well, but coming to take your throne, who do you think is going to be a big challenge? Like, what team is going to be a big challenge against your Roseville roster? Because you guys looked really strong. So,
There is one team we're looking out for in particular, Minnetonka. Minnetonka is like we've scouted them out. They seem really, really good.
Yep. That's a good team to have on your radar. They have been one of the top teams through past other leagues. For League of Legends, they are a very prominent school. So definitely a good squad to have your sights set on. Mr. Chair, I want to give you these last few moments. Any shout outs for any teammates, coaches, etc. This time is yours.
I would like to give a shout out to all of my teammates. They played really well, and I feel like we just communicate well and just play well together. And I would like to give a shout out to my coaches who gave us this opportunity and MNVL.
For sure, man. Well, we appreciate you coming out and doing this interview with us tonight. You had some excellent plays, and I know that me and myself and Gummy wish you the best of luck on the remainder of your season, and hopefully you guys get that big matchup versus Minnetonka.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Well, I mean, folks, that was Mr. Chair. That was Roseville up to 4-0-1 now as they take down Hopkins, setting them back to a 2-1 record. So overall, I mean, Gummy, first time cast in league. How do you think it went tonight?
I think it went pretty well. I mean, for a first game to cast, getting to cast a team like Roseville, I feel like is a good place to start because Roseville is just a very strong roster. They just played really well the whole time, and yeah, it was just really fun to cast them.
For sure. I think you did a great job as well. I think Doa is going to actually appreciate some of this footage to look back at. And overall, I want to give a big thanks to all of our viewers coming out and watching the stream tonight. I want to give a big thanks to Gummy for stepping up to this tall task of taking on the three-headed beast, which is League of Legends.
Oh, I have so many notes. I have so many notes trying to
There you go.
learn and understand this game.
There you go, man. You did a great job. We were happy to have you on the broadcast, and I don't think anybody would have a problem having you come around anytime we need you. So
I'd be happy to fill in.
there you go. But for now, folks, we are going to call it. We thank Wisdom again primary sponsor of our Tuesday broadcast, folks. For real. Okay. We're going to see them again back at the studio for MNVL state finals. I already said it once over here. Go get your merch over at that MOA location. Okay. And we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow for some Valorant action, kicking it live at 5. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday evening, and we'll see you guys on the flip.
I'll see you Thursday.